Joining me today on NYSE Floor Talk is Geoffroy van Raemdonck. He is the CEO at Neiman Marcus Group. Geoffroy, it is wonderful to have you here. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you, Judy, for having me.
It's a pleasure. So now let's start off by talking about Neiman Marcus Group. Tell me about the company and tell me, how does your differentiated business model set you apart?
So Neiman Marcus Group is a $5 billion gross merchandise value company. And what differentiates us is that integrated retail. And the set of experiences you can have when you interact with us across multiple facets of that business is what I think is making us quite differentiated. Now, it's important for two reasons. One is customers who shop across channels spend 5 times more, and it shows that it's a vector of loyalty and engagement. It's also important because we are moving in a world where buying the product is important, but the experience of it is really what differentiates it. And so a lot of our customers will engage remotely, but ultimately will come to the store for a service and experience, and that's what's going to accelerate them in their loyalty with us.
Mm-hmm. So now it seems like Neiman Marcus Group has gone through a transformation over the past several years. Talk to me a bit about how the company has evolved.
So we've really moved ourselves from a luxury department store to transform ourselves into a luxury relationship business. And that's really talking about luxury, and it's most importantly talking about relationships. That relationship 6 years later really looks different. So if we compare ourselves at the end of our last fiscal year compared to pre-COVID, our top customers are nearly 20% up. Our top brands are 50% up. And the number of sales associates who sell more than $1 million moved to be 1,100, which is 35% more. And what it tells you is that at the end of the day, there's multiple places where customers can engage. We really want those who engage with us to be in a relationship and to retain them and grow them. And so that's a transformation we initiated 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Now let's take a step back. Tell me, what are your thoughts on the current state of luxury retail, and how are you approaching today's luxury consumer?
So the luxury retail industry has grown. And if you look at it, during COVID, there's a younger customer base, a male customer base that engage in luxury. And my view is once you engage in luxury, it is a little bit of a one-way street. And so there's more engagement through social media as a vector of entry. I think that's going to stay. Now, what's happening today is that there's a segment of customer, a more aspirational customer, that is normalizing itself. They had outsized growth and they're going back to a more normalized level. That's leading, that normalization makes the market volatile, it makes it promotional. And then there's another segment that is much more continuously growing and engaging. We're seeing categories like shoes and handbags continuously growing. And so I think that you have this bifurcation between the two.
Mm-hmm. All right, now you recently brought back a reimagined version of the Neiman Marcus Awards, which has a legacy dating back to the 1930s and a winner's list, which includes icons like Christian Dior, Salvatore Ferragamo, and Coco Chanel. Tell me a little bit about the awards, what they look like today, and why is it important to bring it back?
So the awards, to your point, are really part of our DNA, and they celebrate the most creative minds in the industry. I thought it was important to bring them back because today in luxury, creativity is what creates brand desirability. And there are people like Maria Grazia Curie, who's the current designer at Dior, who's taking the house of Dior to new height. And I think it reminds all of us that luxury is entering the test of time. So bringing them back was about celebrating creativity. But as we brought them back, we reimagined them. And we basically offer to the recipient the access to the power of our marketing and merchandising skills at Neiman Marcus. What we've seen is the recipient last year, a third of our top customers who account for 40% of our sales bought those brands, that the 3 recipients were up double digit. And so it is really about creating a vector of acceleration, a vector of connectivity for those brands to the US luxury customer.
Mm-hmm. Now, Geoffroy, tell me, what is the concept of retailtainment? What does it mean and why is it so important?
So retailtainment is back to what we were talking about, integrated retail. Customers love to buy products, and we pride ourselves to select the most luxury brands that have integrity in their design, integrity in their craftsmanship. But luxury is also the experience of buying. And so for us, retailtainment is creating theater in retail and offering a brand to give our customers an expression of themselves that is quite unique. So 90% of our top 20 brands participate in retailtainment. that can take different faces. It's always immersive, it's always multisensory. It could be Prada putting tons of sand in our store, creating a beach, having gelato and products that are nowhere else available, or Burberry wrapping one of our stores in their logo and taking over the store. But it's always about surprising the customer with an expression of the brand that is unique. It's available in store, but then it's amplified digitally, and our sales associate make it available to our customers across the country.
Mm-hmm. And finally, tell me, Geoffroy, where do you see luxury heading? And do you think technology is going to play a future or a role in the future of change?
I'm very bullish on luxury over the long term, specifically in the US. I think customers appreciate products that have integrity of design and craftsmanship, and I think that market is going to continue to grow. It will have ups and downs and volatility, but the economics of the segment who participate is more stable than the overall economics. I think where it's going and the role of technology is really important. I think technology does two things in luxury. One is it allows us to scale the reach. So when we sell 20% of our sales outside of the store, it's because we engage digitally by sending messages, by having looks that are curated for our customers. And then data and mining data through artificial intelligence allows us to scale the personalization and making a recommendation that is right for you. I think the difference is that in luxury, the human will always have a role. And so I think technology is there to power the human, not to replace the human.
All right. Well, it's been fantastic to talk with you, Geoffroy. Thanks for joining me on Floor Talk.
Thank you, Judy.